So this is the time when we start taking questions from the audience, and like there are many questions already, largely from students who are like very worried about the online classes these days. So one of the questions from a student is that, like, we don't have a name, but the question says, if the center has already cancelled exams, why is the Karnataka government not promoting us? Please promote all degree students. So apparently this is one of the discussions you had recently about promoting students who are doing their graduation or post-graduation rather than conducting exams.
Akram, basically, to be frank with you, we are seized of this matter. This was completely unprecedented, which is, it has come. We can't get away from, conducting any of the academic activity. It is a continuous process. We need to engage ourselves. We need to do the things, whatever required things to be done. Now at present, since even the lockdown is not been relaxed, we don't know when we'll be permitted to start the classes. So until then, we can't just tell, we can't tell people are promoted, you have been promoted and you have been declared pass. All these things are not possible. Unless and until the relaxation has been completely
everything is thrown open completely,
and the lockdown been relaxed, until then we can't come to anything. Until then, whatever academic activity can be done, can be done only through online. There is no other alternative. Is there any other alternative for us? In this present situation, for us it is only through online YouTube channels and through PDF format, through WhatsApp group or Telegraph group. Any of these things we can avail of, make use of this, and we can reach out to the student. Or they can do on their self-learning. Make use, talk to their peers, reach out to their peers, talk to them, learn, do things. See, it's a process. See, here, it's a place, it's a time for them to get involved, start learning. Their only duty is to learn. No, this is the time for them to do their work. And later on, once the lockdown is relaxed, we can think over what needs to be done, whether classes to be conducted after the lockdown, optionally, not mandatorily, if the students can attend the classes. So whoever were not able to learn through the online, we can give them an opportunity of an optional opportunity of attending the classes.
So
they can attend the classes.
Like what the opposition or some of the questions here are, like one of the questions for Ivan Suman G reads, you are playing with the lives of students. Do you really think online education is effective in rural areas? That is one of the issues that even the opposition has highlighted, saying there is no broadband connectivity in rural areas and people will struggle to get online education and it will set them back compared to their urban counterparts. So you have also offered, incidentally, to provide internet connection to 1.1 lakh students who have, there is a proposal. That's what you say.
No, that is additionally what we are trying to provide as a facility. That's in a facility what we are trying to provide to the government students, so that they can, we can promote more of online education, complementary education in the government institution. We have provided them the laptops, 110,000 laptops have been provided. It should be put into maximum use. We are thinking in the terms of complementing the education in this direction. As a responsibility, we are developing content for that utilization. So many of the people can't afford these kind of internet services. As a goodwill, we are trying to reach out to the internet service companies, service providers company, to provide free internet services for this 110,000.
Yes, that way.
And they are trying to consider with regard to the. See, online is something we are not trying to impose here. The situation has warranted us to provide a solution. We can't just keep quiet and sit back. We need to reach out, we need to take the responsibility, we need to ensure whatever possible we can do in the given situation. We are trying to do our best. And more so, whoever student is not able to get connected with the online education, for them we are planning to, after the relaxation of the lockdown, we are planning to conduct classes. See, for example, in degree colleges almost 80% syllabus was completed in degree colleges. In VTU University, around 30 to 40% syllabus was covered, and very less portion was covered for them, which we are aware. And for the degree student, we can conduct it for lesser time. And for the VTU student, we can have for a longer duration, and we can allow them to have regular classes, optional. It will not be mandatory. Even if I insist mandatory, because many of the people think they want safety. Whoever has learnt over the online, whoever doesn't require offline classes, they have the option of attending or not attending. It's their choice. So after that, we can planning to take up whether the exams can be conducted or not.
Like, but why is the government so reluctant to promote these students? Like, is there a scientific basis to why these students should not be promoted to the next year? Like because you will have had some discussions in the Higher Education Council or anywhere else about promoting students.
So not that we are not reluctant or anything like that. It's an academic activity. It's a learning. We are ensuring them whatever required teaching or learnings are provided to them, and it's not in their interest also. See, once they pass out without exams, passing out or backlog, not only the regular exam, along with that they have a lot of backlogs also there. And the people who can't appear, for example, they thought, we are just thinking, there are many suggestions. If people who are not able to attend this exam, who are not interested to take this exam, they'll be allowed to take carry over the entire subjects to next exam, and it will not be mentioned as a attempt. It will not be mentioned as an attempt. They'll be allowed to carry over all the subjects if they don't appear. All those options will be allowed, and more so the exams will be very liberal, and we are not going to stick on. Many options have been thought over. They are concerned. The universities will come out with many solutions. And it is not advisable student without, and more so I just discussed, this virus is not going to leave us.
Very short. It will take a little time.
And it's going to stay. We can't get away, and we need to follow the regular academic
calendar
standards. Whatever the prescribed standards needs to be also addressed. At the same time, addressing the concern. Whatever we are trying to do here, it is not for ourselves. See, it's the easiest thing. Easiest thing, no exam. This is not a jungle raj.
You have to have the testing before the pass.
Some other state is doing it, doesn't mean we have to do. So it is something in their own interest. We can easily, disown everything and allow them to pass. All these things are the easiest solution. Declaring pass is not a solution. So we need to look into the concern of the student, their future, and we need to take an appropriate decision, balancing, keeping in mind everything. We need to take a right decision.
You've been trying to reassure students, sir, but the questions of the students continue to come in. One of the students, Lohit, asks, we can't understand online classes and we have problems with getting good network.
That's what I told you, sir. That's just now when the lockdown is relaxed, the classes can start.
Classes can. Are you looking at readjusting the academic calendar, because there are 2 months which have been lost?
We can definitely readjust the calendar, cut down the holidays. All these things can be done. Continuous academic training can be enforced, and holidays can be cut down. Many things can be done. So there are a lot of solutions available. Ultimately, we want to maintain standards. We want to address ultimately whatever we are trying to do here is in the interest of the student and in the welfare of the student. Declaring everything and leaving open, promoted, if that is a solution.
Then it would have been offered already.
Then if that's a solution, what else been, what else can an educational institution, what else they got to do? In this time, this is their duty to start learning. Stop worrying about the exams. Stop worrying. We understand their challenges. Many of them are facing problem with regard to the online learning. We understand that it's not been very convenient. Just only depending on online is not the only solution. Optionally, until the classes open, until the colleges starts, we insist all these children to avail and make use of the online. Later on, once the lockdown is done, relaxation has been provided, we'll start the classes. We'll ensure whatever classes they have missed all the classes will be conducted.
Okay.
Then only exams will be conducted.
So like one of the other things, like apart from students, we'll take questions from students again, is about hotels. Like hotels and restaurants, they are piling up their losses, and now like June 8th they're likely to open. So what will be the standard operating procedure for these hotels? What kind of guidelines can these hotels and restaurants expect from the government?
Basically, hygiene will be the most important, spacing, physical distancing, hygiene, and mask wearing, all these things until the only in the restaurant, whatever needs to be taken. We can't insist in a mask in a hotel.
Yeah, but still,
restaurant. So, whatever precaution, spacing, sitting spacing area, and partitions, everything will be planned. Whatever SOPs have been given to them, as per that they need to.
Is the central government going to issue any SOPs for hotels?
Yeah, definitely.
Hotels, okay.
All the places we have SOPs. All the places we have SOPs. Similarly, on the similar lines, even the restaurants needs to follow the SOP, and it will be enforced and implemented.
So like one more thing, this is one more controversy that the government finds itself in recently, is regarding the procurement of PPE kits and ventilators by Karnataka State Drug Logistics and Warehousing Society, and it has also resulted in a fight between Parliamentary Affairs Committee and the Speaker. So like what is the reason? So like there are like allegations that KTPP norms were not followed because there were exemptions given, but that has led to large scale irregularities. How do you react to this?
Reaction, there was initially there was shortage in availability of PPE or N95 or most of the things, even the kits. It was non-available in our entire country. It was a big, hue and cry was there. A lot of challenges to immediately mitigate or address all those concerns. They were desperately trying to reach out to across the world, wherever possible to procure, they were trying to procure. So in this process, they did their best to procurement in a small way. It is not a big money, whatever is been spent during that period. Gradually, we started, manufacturing most of the things, PPE, N95, kits, testing machines, equipment, everything was started, manufacturing locally in our own country. And as and when the competition increased, the number of producers increased, the prices started dropping so drastically, so less, and it was become a very dynamic process. And so far, government of Karnataka all the time, it has adopted all the standards, all the precaution, all the norms were adapted, and it was taken care.
But do you think there have been some shortcomings? Like for example, there was a company, the Health Department procured ventilators from a Delhi-based company which sent you used ventilators.
This kind of, is, for example, we order some of the ventilator availability, immediate availability of a ventilator was a real challenge, and it was not available.
Yes, sir.
Since the ventilators readily it was not available, wherever the ventilators were available, we just wanted to procure. In this process, I think four ventilators supplied by one Delhi company was a refurbished ventilators were supplied. So immediately it was noticed and it was returned. So just we need to look into all the manufacture. Then we need to again look into everything, auditing. Everything was looked into it, and so we were able to detect all those things, and we returned back those ventilators. These kind of things, some of the people who should work responsibly, the suppliers who should be responsible, they try to take advantage of the situation, which has been addressed very strongly. And the people, and all of our officers, if you've seen this situation, they've sincerely done their duty. They have done their duty sincerely, and they're not got away from
So like you're saying there might have been some shortcomings, but are you saying there have been some shortcomings?
Shortcoming means if we place an order to a company, if they are trying to take advantage, and which has been detected by our own department. It was detected by our own department, but not by anybody else. It was detected by our own people, and they found out, and they just returned it back.
Okay. So one more question, sir. This is regarding the Technical Education Board. So an IAS officer has recently submitted a report against wrongdoing by the Technical Education Board Department Director. So what is the higher education department going to do now? Like what is the action it is planning? Like is it going to take the report?
Yeah,
file any case against
the report still it has not come to me. Once the report is placed in front of me, it's forwarded to me, then we'll take up the issue and we'll take necessary action.
Okay.
Definitely, nobody is Ebola.
And
nobody is Ebola, and definitely we'll take the required action, stringent action against the concerned people.
One more thing is about uniform curriculum, and Bargur Ramachandra Pai has apparently written you a letter on uniform curriculum. What is your stand on that?
Sir, it is not uniform calendar what we have. It's a model syllabus, a framework.
Okay.
We just wanted a framework to be suggested, and we are not getting into the uniform syllabus part. So locally, every university it has got locally their own influences, their own history, their own importance. So we'll be allowing with regard to those flexibilities we need to address. We're not going to get into all those aspects. Only thing is we wanted to ensure the people passing out should get into more of relevant programs and relevant content syllabus. It needs to be there, so that their livelihood and their qualification will be very relevant to ensure them their placement
in the job market. So we have like 5 to 10 more minutes of interview with the minister left. Keep your questions coming. One question now is from one Ashwin Suresh, who asks, you expect relaxing the lockdown terms and conditions. When cases are increasing, how is it going to serve any people, or how is it be beneficial when you relax the lockdown when the cases are increasing? This has been a dilemma that you have been facing since the lockdown was eased, I believe.
So life cannot stop with that. So when the lockdown was announced, the preparation or the infrastructure was at it very low. You know very well.
To tackle COVID.
No availability of labs was not there. Facilities were not created. PPE, N95, testing kits, equipments, nothing was there. So meanwhile, the lockdown was announced to just trying to contain, so that we have 130 crore population. Initially, it would have been very difficult to manage. Now the system is in place to handle any kind of challenges. Not that we can stop people getting infected. There will be a scope. The more number of cases will be reporting. Now the numbers we need to just stop giving more attention to the numbers. Instead of that, we need to work on prevention. We need to build up infrastructure, and along with that, we need to get into the bringing life into normalcy and start working in this direction.
That's one more question from Spurti, probably a culture fan. She's asked, will Dasara be held normally this year? Will Dasara be held normally? Because Dasara is the state festival, so to speak. So probably this person is from Mysore, I believe.
Too early to say anything. Let us see with regard to the public functions. So far, no decision has been taken regarding the gatherings, conducting a function, big functions. So far, no decision has been taken.
So still 3 months you have time to decide on this.
Yeah.
So when the time comes, you'll take a call. One more. So the other things, like one of the things that you're planning, have been regularly doing, is interacting with the people who are expats. And like many expats, especially in the Gulf, find themselves with no jobs, a large number of them. So what are the plans for the government? How do you
see migration of people has been happening. The people from whoever was working in our state have migrated to their state. Our people whoever was working in different state or countries, they are coming back. So the balance will happen. There will be opportunity as and when the revival of the economy happens. I think all of them will get an opportunity to get employed in our state. I don't think so it should be an issue. There will be more so of a shortage. Always we have been talking about there will be a shortage of laborers. Probably we can fulfill that shortage by people of our state.
Okay, one last question, sir. Like South India was among those which had cases initially, say Kerala, Karnataka. But like now we see a reverse trend. We were able to do much better than the northern states. What did we do better? compared to northern states?
Sir, you know the source. The source, if you look at whether it is because of the primary or secondary or international returnees or domestic returnee, it is all because of the domestic returnee where there was a reporting of more number of infected cases. The people who come back from those areas, that has given rise to the increasing in the number of cases. See, that's what I told you. So now this is the time. We can't discriminate anybody. We need to address the issue effectively, and whatever needs to be done to control or contain or treat them, taking care of them, we need to do. And rest remaining, it's all open. We need to start working in this. No, we don't have any limitation. We can't stop people from coming. We are not been given that freedom of stopping anybody getting into the state. So we have got no other option just to take them, live with them, provide them whatever things can be provided. We can't discriminate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The law doesn't allow us to discriminate.
So thank you very much, sir. I hope he has answered much of the concerns that students have raised and also the other questions people have had. Until next time, this is Akram signing off, and thanks again for Ashwanarayan sir to be here.